Good afternoon, racing fans. On behalf of the management staff of Hawthorne Racecourse, I welcome you to a Wednesday afternoon of thoroughbred racing here at Hawthorne. Mutual windows remain open. If you'll turn to your programs, I'll give you the changes on today's 8-race card. First of all, let me tell you the dirt track is fast, turf is firm, rails set at 20 feet out. Those conditions will be throughout the afternoon here at Hawthorne as we have another pleasant day here in the Chicagoland area, barring the wildfire smoke overhead. I remind you at Hawthorne that win, play, show, exactas, and daily doubles are $1 minimum wagers. Trifecta, pick 3, pick 4, pick 5, pick 6s are 50-cent minimum wagers. Superfecta, jackpot, high 5 are 20-cent minimum wagers. We have 8 races today, and we offer win, play, show, exacta, trifecta, superfecta wagering all 8 races. And I remind you, win, play, show pools, the lowest take on the country, just 12%. On your win, play, show pools here at Hawthorne every day we race, just a 12% takeout on the win, play, show pools. Here are the changes on today's racing program. First race starts the rolling daily doubles, rolling pick 3s, and the 50-cent pick 5. In the first race, scratch 2, Galib's Dream, scratch 2, Galib's Dream. 4, Cairo Summer carries 2 pounds over the program weight. The second race starts a 50-cent early pick 4, rider change on number 6, Tour de Port, make the jockey Alexander Bendezu. The weight's okay. Alexander Bendezu rides 6, Tour de Port. Second race starts a 50-cent early pick 4. Third race is where the pick 6 starts. Pick 6, one of 2 carryover pools today. Pick 6 carryover, $1,126. 1 Gallant Buck carries 2 pounds over, and 5 Table Money carries 1 pound over the program weight. The fourth race, turf firm, rail set at 10 feet out. Number 1, Where's Lucky, carries 2 pounds over the program weight. Fifth race is where the late pick 4 starts. A rider change on 1, Ronan, make the jockey Alexander Bendezu. The weight's okay. Alexander Bendezu rides 1, Ronan. Scratch 2, Miss Melody. Scratch 3, Someone Said So. Fifth race, scratch 2, Miss Melody. Scratch 3, Someone Said So. Fifth race starts the late pick 4. Sixth race, a rider change on 2, Jay-Z's Fine Wine, make the jockey Alexander Bendezu. Waive the apprentice allowance, make the weight 118 pounds. Alexander Bendezu rides 2, Jay-Z's Fine Wine. Seventh race, turf firm, rail set at 10 feet out, no changes. No jockey changes, scratch or overweights, no changes in the 7th. Eighth race, jackpot high 5 carryover, $90,000, $14 for Stan the cameraman, carries 1 pound over the program weight. We have a rider change on 6, 1 ace, make the jockey Alexander Bendezu. The weight's okay. Alexander Bendezu rides 6, 1 ace. Those are the changes on today's 8-race program. Racing fans, I remind you, if you haven't already done so, be sure to sign up for Club Hawthorne. It's your chance to accumulate points to be redeemed for valuable prizes, including cash throughout the year. Visit guest services in the simulcast area for more information. Starting points today, sign up for Club Hawthorne. If you're at a Club Hawthorne off-track betting facilities, go to the front desk. Starting points today, sign up for Club Hawthorne. Our racing schedule, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. First race every day we race, 2:30 Central Time. We're open for simulcast every day. Watch and wager on racetracks from around the world here at Hawthorne, any one of our Club Hawthorne off-track betting facilities. Also open every day, the PointsBet Sportsbook. Watch and wager on sporting events from around the world here at Hawthorne, a couple of our off-track betting facilities. Also open early every day. Early bird wagering, bet and go, west end of the building. Live mutual clerk, live program sellers, mutual machine, west end of the building, and open early every day. Bet and go, early bird wagering, open every day, west end of the building here at Hawthorne. You can learn more about Club Hawthorne at clubhawthorne.com. Learn more about the PointsBet Sportsbook at pointsbet.com. Learn more about all the happenings at Hawthorne, including upcoming pool parties, which one coming up this Saturday. Upcoming handicapping tournaments. We have one later this month. Our racing schedule, much, much more. HawthorneRacecourse.com has all the information on all the happenings at Hawthorne. We welcome everybody across the betting network, including the inter-track and off-track facilities around North America. We welcome everyone across the world via the internet. Here at Hawthorne Racecourse, under hazy skies, weather temperature in the 70s. The dirt track fast, turf is firm with the rails set at 10 feet out. We have a slight tailwind in the home stretch right now of about 5 miles per hour. Post time for the first race in 45 minutes at 2:30 Central Time In all cases, we ask you to make your selections early. Have fun, and thank you.
And good afternoon, racing fans. Welcome to Hawthorne Racecourse for Wednesday afternoon of Thoroughbred action. Jim Miller and Emily Gullikson down here in our new digs. Emily, this rocks. Look at it. Look behind us. This is awesome. The one thing that we have to do is over my right shoulder is a picture of me with a fish. We need to slide it just a little bit more over just so you can see the size of that fish. It was pretty awesome, Emily. But hey, this is a cool Hawthorne setup behind us.
It's really amazing. I walked in and I was like, this is so cool, and it's amazing. And looking at it on the screen,
good.
It looks awesome.
We got a trophy here. I mean, this is...
You can't see your fish picture, which I've only ever seen somebody holding a fish on a dating app profile, so that was a first for me in the real life.
Let me ask, did the person have any success?
Not from me.
A lot of swipes in a certain direction. There's trophies from 1958. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's cool. You have the board behind us, which is awesome. A lot of the old different historic pictures, which is very cool as well. What it does, though, Emily, it allows us to kind of expand what we're doing a little bit more, because we were down in the sports book, and those days where it gets really busy are days where we kind of have to adjust, slide around a little bit. It's a little hard to jump up on the air, run up and down levels, because I'm up on the top level, you're down on the bottom level. So this is kind of in between. So what it's going to allow is for you and I to do more races together, which is really cool, to do more coverage and expansive coverage of our races here at Hawthorne. And that's what everybody wants to see, because handle has been up. Fields are growing. Racing is really good. We're into turf racing, low takeout, so it's really a good time of year as we get into the start of the summer months to just do a little bit more with our races here at Hawthorne.
I love it. For all those reasons, I'm really proud to be part of this team. All like the forward progress. I know everybody here is excited about it. As you mentioned, we're going to be up here, but I'm still going to visit down in the sports book because I've met some people going out on the track.
Down there,
yeah, we're hanging out. It's fun, but you know, this is great. And again, it looks so cool.
It does. It looks really cool. Great job by everybody here at Hawthorne, our marketing crew, our maintenance crew, and our TV crew. An awesome job as always. These guys are the best in the business. And it's the little things that we talk about, and I tweeted about it last week, just the little things that our TV crew does, because if you look around the country, you get different views of races at different points, but just the views they give you, the ability to get the entire field in for the majority of the race, but then to tighten right on the finish line there at the finish. But then I love the gallop out. And you and I talk about it time and again. A lot of racetracks don't do that, but they do a really good job of picking up these horses galloping out and widening out after the shot, because you can learn a lot about a racehorse once they pass the finish line too.
Yeah, absolutely. And as somebody that watches a lot of races and does a lot of notes and watching different ways races are filmed and how many times I have to stop and rewind and look at certain things, and very little here. Yeah. It's very smooth.
Yeah, it is. They do a great job. We're really proud of the staff here and the production at Hawthorne, and just overall, just a very good job, very good start to the season, and I really expect things to get even better. I was looking at Sunday's card. It's a really good card. We have a 6250 optional claimer. It's a 3/4 of a mile sprint. Stakes quality horses up and down that field. So when you see the entries for Sunday, look at race number 7, because it is a really good card. All right, now around the country, Emily, today we do have some cancellations. Finger Lakes is canceled, Delaware is canceled. They both canceled for tomorrow too. It's due to the fires in Canada and the smoke coming down and just the air quality. You're seeing some of the racetracks that are racing. It's hard to see today too. We're going to see how this affects New York, because it's Belmont weekend also, but those East Coast states are really having a lot of trouble with the smoke.
Yeah, we're seeing on social media, the horse racing Twitters putting out their pictures of like where they're at, and you know, friends and players around the country, their challenges as far as racing. But it's, you know, it's nice here. We hope it clears up there, clears up in New York for the Belmont Stakes. We have our pool party this Saturday, so looking forward to that out at Villa Park. I think there's still space. If you don't have anything to do or you have plans that you want to get out of, you should definitely join us at Villa Park. You can see the graphic right there on the screen. I'll be joined by Jordan Jane, who's just an exceptional horse player, full-time bettor. So it's a really great opportunity. I've handicapped the stakes races so far. Looking forward to that card, and always fun at the pool party. A lot of people you get to see coming out from the community.
Yeah, Jordan's got some pressure because you and I put up huge numbers at Oaklawn earlier on in the year. But it's one of those things. The pool party is really cool because you come in, you get food, you get drink, you get a program, you learn about racing, and then you get into a part of the betting pool. But you take some chances. When they come through, you can cash huge. When you and I did it at Crestwood earlier in the year, I think everybody got back like $180. So it was really cool. So it was a whole lot of fun. But check out the pool party. It's a very good card from Belmont. Fingers crossed weather-wise, things improve for the weekend, because it's one of those things where could be a little tough if it's a little smoky. You and I do our stakes preview, our Saturday stakes preview on Thursdays, so the Belmont's going to be our race this week that we'll talk about tomorrow right at this time slot there, so make sure you check that out as well. But pool party will be a lot of fun. You're going to have a very busy Saturday, Emily.
Yeah, for a change.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's usually pretty quiet for me on Saturdays. Yeah, it'll be great. Yeah, it's funny because like Jordan, Jordan is a pretty heavy player.
Yep.
So for most people, it's like, oh, we're going to give you $1,000. I feel like for Jordan, it's like we're giving him like the basket of mystery ingredients, you know, and he's got to work with the $1,000 parameter. But it's great. You get to come out and learn. We've had a lot of people returning and just commenting how much they've learned in their regular day, and just really get to enjoy the sport, which I love too. Just explaining to people just how exciting and what a great game horse racing is, and getting people excited about the handicapping process and how much goes into it. Pool parties are a great opportunity for that.
And they really are. And day-to-day play is a little bit different sometimes from tournament play or from those that play in extended meet. So it is one of those things where there's different strategies involved and things you have to look in, but definitely worth jumping into. But it should be a lot of fun. Our online contest just got done. Our buddy Justin Dew battled all the way to the end. He said if he had took a different horse in that last race, he had a chance to win it. But Mike Wilkenine, a guy who supports us here at Hawthorne and watches and wagers on our races, was the winner. There were over 1,000 contestants in there, so that was very cool. He's headed to the NHC. We always give away a whole lot of NHC seats. So congratulations to Mike, because that wasn't an easy contest. It was definitely a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of consistency, a lot of following, and again, I don't think he had some of the prices early on, so he had to really kind of grind and stick it out. And yeah, congratulations to him. Those are tough tournaments.
Yeah, they are. It was a whole lot of fun, and you'll see more of those online contests as things go on in the future here at Hawthorne. All right, let's jump into today's card. You only have 3 scratches on the card, so it's a good card today. Again, clear skies, fast track, firm turf. It's a little hazy here, but no rain expected or anything along those lines. But I'll tell you, I like today's card. The low takeout, 12% takeout on win, place, and show wagering. And in the first, I think this race got a whole lot tougher due to the scratch of the 2 Galib's Dreams. Here we go, a mile and 70 yards, 62.50 claimers in the opener, Emily. Field of 5. Galib's Dreams was going to be a very heavy favorite in this spot. With that one out, it not only changes the complexion of the race, but we'll see what happens price-wise. Cairo Summer now your 7-5 favorite. How do you look at this race now with the horse that was going to be the favorite out of here? Yeah,
I think both you and I went that direction, and part of that did have to do with the pace scenario, which does change a little bit because you have some horses that want to be on or near the lead with Cairo Summer. Kitten Rock's likely to press from the rail. Even Hard Like Holly could be a little bit more forwardly placed today, as well as Into a Sky, the number 3. I've been kind of chasing Weekend Pass. Maybe this is the time, maybe not. I don't know. I feel like I kind of get suckered into this one each time. But if those runners bunch up early, definitely has some stamina. Maybe this is the best chance. Maybe this will be my last time trying to go that route. But I kind of scratched into Weekend Pass in here, but still has a chance, especially with that contention.
Yeah, I mean, pace scenario-wise, it definitely does change in here with Galib's Dreams out of this race as well. Cairo Summer, we welcome Rashawn Blanche, the bug boy, back into the saddle here at Hawthorne today. He's the 10-pound bug rider that had some success here last fall. He was riding some races at Indiana, but he's coming over here to Hawthorne, rides a bunch of horses on today's card. He's on Cairo Summer here. This is a horse that he's ridden in the past, has had some success with in the past last December. And I'm with you. I don't know what the pace scenario is going to be. Kitten Rock should be up there. Hard Like Holly may be up there. Cairo Summer maybe, but I don't think they're going to go that fast. So if they're bunched up early on, we'll have to see who's able to run off in the end. I guess if anybody goes, it is Kitten Rocks in here. But just with the scratch of Galib's Dreams, I scratch into Cairo Summer in this spot, but you're really not going to be faulted for going anyway in today's opener. Race 2 on the card, 50-cent early, pick 4, wagering in the second, 15% takeout in race number 2. Illinois-bred maiden allowance runners go 3/4 of a mile in here. Alex Bendezu is on the 6 in this spot. From this field of 6, Emily, you can look a few different ways, but I know you started a little bit with Love You Like Crazy, a horse that ran a pretty good race in that last start of 2022.
Yeah, there's kind of 2 approaches, right? You want the horses that have experience or some of the new faces in here, and I did kind of a mix of both. But as far as the horses that have experience, Love You Like Crazy was running against Tougher last year. here. Had some subtle form coming into Hawthorne off the debut out of town, and maybe just catches the right field with that current form on their side, but is coming off the layoff. Again, could just catch the right field in here. As far as the other runners with experience, and I'll pass it to you as far as the first-time starters, number 5, That's a Bird, coming in from FanDuel, is one I've been just kind of watching the races on, and this horse is showing run, so we'll see how that's going to translate here, but I would not be surprised to see another honest effort from That's a Bird.
Yeah, I'm curious to see out of the first-time starters, like you mentioned. I think Madeline Bell's going to take a lot of action. This is a barn that usually has them ready at first asking. The works have been good. I know they usually bet early as well, so we'll see what kind of action they get out of Madeline Bell for this one on debut, getting Lasix. Some of these dominant first-timers as well from the barn of Michelle Boyce have actually run well early on too. So some of the early works were kind of back and forth, but you see a good gate drill on April the 30th, come back with another good gate drill on May the 14th, and when you have the inside draw, there's really no option but to go. So you figure they're going to want to go show some speed from the inside and get away. So let's see what we get out of Arcady Bug as well in race number 2. Watch the board for early action, though. That's something that could be a little bit of a sign there.
Tour de Port could be sneaky in there as well. So, yeah, I agree.
Max Quinones has had a decent meet, too.
Absolutely.
7 winners out of 63 starters, 25 second or third. So his horses are running well, oftentimes at prices, too. Race number 3 on the card, pick 6 wager in the spot. That carryover just over $1,100. We go 3/4 of a mile. Allowance runners in this spot. Again, I wasn't quite sure where to go, but then I like when I look and see your selections and we agree, because when we do agree, those horses usually tend to run rather well. We're both on Sunny is Not So Funny in this spot. Horse that's been knocking on the door, maybe today's the day.
Yeah, I just think the Sunny's Not So Funny, as well as number 3, West Warpath, have a little bit of an edge already with the form at the allowance condition. Maybe get a little bit more of a price than Sunny's Not So Funny, and also could just have a better pace scenario, being able to stalk some of that early pace setters and getting a run at them with that first run. Michael Rivas seems to have this horse in really good form right now, and today could be his day.
Yeah, when you talk about trainer intent, I probably have to mention the 2 a little bit. That's Don't Box Me in, this one from the barn of Joel Burnt. It's making the first start of the year, and you come into this spot as a Minnesota bred with Canterbury Park already racing, so they could go up there and run at Canterbury, but they find a spot here where it's a shorter field, it's an allowance test. I kind of like the spot, at least to give that horse a shot and see, because they do have a little bit of speed, so we'll have to see how the track plays, and there's not a ton of pace in this race, so maybe Don't Box Me and gets in the mix, but I'm with you. I think West Warpath probably takes the majority of the action in this race. So if that one does, Sunny is Not So Funny, just maybe sneaks off. If you get around that 3-1, I think that's value in this spot, and we'll see what we get with Sunny is Not So Funny in race number 3. 4th race, one of 2 turf races on the card. This is a tough race. 15 non-2 is always tough on the grass. We go 1 mile in here. It's a field of 10 to line up in this spot, Emily, and you can go so many different ways. I was curious to see what the plot said, because when I was looking at this race, I saw Storm's Reflection, the 5, probably showing speed. After that, I don't really know. So I was curious to see kind of what you thought pace scenario-wise, and I know you had some horses at some prices that were in with a shot too.
Yeah, the pace scenario is kind of different in here because it's sun contention, not a lot of EP or E-type runners, but still a solid 50 speed rate. So take some finishing ability, take some form, being at the right class level. And I'll start by talking about number 5, Storm's Reflection, because he's coming out of that common race back on May 18th with a lot of the horses in here that could be contenders in this race. But as far as Storm's Reflection, could be a little bit overlooked off that 5th place finish, but still earned a B- optics grade, which is similar to some of the other horses that are coming back in the spot that finished in front of him and had legitimate trouble and lacked room. So at a bit of a price, keep that one on the radar. And again, as you mentioned, could be able to show early speed, and being that early speed on the inside, saving ground, has had its advantages. Looking outside that May 18th race, though, I think Kingsbury Attack and even Strike Price are worth a mention, similar B- optics grades, is number 7, Bruce Banner, who has some buried form. He looks very positive on the plot. It's a big square, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, so should be able to show early speed and finishing ability, and just has some buried turf form that could have him right back in the mix and getting a little bit overlooked, because you kind of have to read between the lines and do a little bit of digging to get there.
That horse is intriguing to me because the horse was at Tampa throughout the course of the winter. You saw a really fast drill before that race on April 21st, where it looked like intent was to run on the turf and they come off the grass. Then you come here, you run against a really tough field of $25,000 claimers. Now they're in for 15. This is much easier. And with the stretch, you have to figure they show a little bit of speed. So maybe they're the one that tucks right in behind Storm's Reflection early on and could hang around and do so at a decent price. Kingsbury Tack is where I did end up in here, only for the fact that I think the horse is so much better on the turf.
Yeah.
I'm hoping price-wise, I don't know what they're going to do with strike price. I did lay the horse as a 7-2 morning line choice, but this was a horse that also finished second at odds of nearly 20-1 in that last out. So was that an aberration or not? Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, you know, I was kind of kicking myself because I went so back and forth. I think you and I had talked about this horse in those prior starts because he had all that trouble back at Turfway. We were waiting for him to kind of show up and run on this circuit. He didn't really do so on the dirt, and then he pops with the race on the turf. So I don't think it was necessarily a one-off. I think that's kind of getting back to the form. Maybe just didn't like the dirt in the main track here.
And it could have been in the winner of that race. I know you talked about that day modifier. That's a legitimate turf horse. I think that horse is going to be okay. So something that a little bit interesting there that you might be able to find some prices possibly in race number 4. Fifth race on the card. This race got hurt a little bit here by scratches. We go 3/4 of a mile, $40,000 optional claimers. Alex Bendezu on the 1, Ronan. Scratched the 2, Miss Melody, and the 3, Someone Said So. What intrigues me there was Cody Rosine had 2, and like Peter says, why run 2 when 1 will do? So Someone Said So comes out, off-ramp stays in. This was a horse running at Oaklawn Park. We know how tough that meet was. I think off-ramp probably is the one that ends up going favored now. What do you think?
Yeah, and I'm going to default there because I liked Someone Said So. I thought there was enough back class in there and looked like the right spot. So the fact that they scratch her out and off-ramp for all the reasons that you mentioned certainly fits in here and should be able to get the right trip. It's a fire contention. She's a quad 2, quad 4 square, should be able to close late, and again, has that current form coming out of the Oaklawn Park meet, and maybe even now, intention.
Yeah, I would agree. So watch out for the 1, Ronan, a little bit. That was a really big race in the 3rd chance in that last start. Ovar was the horse that kind of laid over the field. This was the one that ran on for second at odds of 47-1. And then Plus Sheik's had some success here at Hawthorne, but I'm with you. I like the chances of off-ramp as well in race number 5. 6th race on the card. Put Alex Bendezu on the 2, Jay-Z's Fine Wine. Maidens here, they go 3/4 of a mile. Field of 8 lines up in this spot. I know you kind of looked through numerous horses in this race. I think you started with Pacific View and then kind of worked around from there, but Pat Clay has a lot of horses on today's card. They all seem very well placed, and this is one of them.
Yeah, again, it's kind of like the other maiden race, right? That you start with the horses that have experience, whether you want to take those or look at a new face. And I think as far as Pacific View, stepped up last out, was a late lead change, closing late. And then Blaze Beauty, kind of the same thing where we've seen her, she fits just based on the horses that have run, and maybe has that that just kind of class edge. Now, there is some horses in here that lack the early speed, so where that's going to come from, and maybe that's why I think both you and I got a little bit creative and looked at Flying Comet. And maybe lives up to their name in here, working a bullet, maybe can come flying and have that pace advantage.
My only question with Flying Comet, because that's who I picked in here, was going to be stamina, because all these works, it's 3/8, 3/8, 3/8, 3/8. And I look at that last work from the gate, 35-3 for 3/8. You have to think you could go into the turn and this horse could be up 3 or 4 lengths. I guess the question is going to be how it handles that second half of the race and if they're able to run on or not. But that's the one that I expect, if they're right on debut, probably is the horse that's showing speed in this spot. I just don't know if I don't know if Baby Doll Peach will go, maybe. But of those who have raced, there's not a ton of really early speed in this spot, Emily.
Yeah, and maybe the board will give some clues. And then also, it's always hard to tell in terms of published works. I know that from being a clocker and you've been out here in the mornings, that sometimes those moves that they're given that published time doesn't really tell the whole story, right? They'll still work 5/8 or whatever, and then call it in as a 3 or et cetera. So, but yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point.
One of my many jobs many years ago, I clocked horses for about 4 years here too. So it's one of those where you watch, you learn trainer tendencies, you watch how horses work. Gate works are always going to be quicker because they're trying to hustle them away from the gate. So there's different things that you can definitely learn. That's another one where the gallop out is big. The lead up to a work is big too. Sometimes horses go 5/8 of a mile and drop into the pole 2 strides before the pole. Other horses are going a full 1/8 of a mile before hitting that spot for the
between
recorded
poles,
work.
Working. I know, like out at Saratoga, you'd see like the Chad Brown horses, and they're all bays with no markings, and you're like, go ahead, try to split those.
Yeah, and so things who's working in company, who's not, who has a horse that starts like what Larry Ravelli did with 2 Phils. He started a horse out 4 or 5 lengths ahead of him, and then had that horse work to catch up, and the horse was a legitimate racehorse that he was chasing too. So much intention that goes into works, and you just kind of have to learn and see who does what, trust the clockers and trust what you see, and go from there. Race number 7, 17.5 maidens here. They go 1 mile and a 16th on the turf. You get 12 of them in this spot, so Emily, good luck in here. When you look at turf, you got to start with Chris Block because everything he runs on the turf always seems to run well. He's got Monster on the midway and hands off the goods in here. But we have that 6-year-old, Mo Time at all in this spot. Aquacat we know could be decent on the turf. Lawmakers, who I ended up with. I know you covered numerous horses in this race. Where do you want to start with?
Yeah, I'll start with Monster on the midways. He's going to come back off the layoff and also come back to the turf, and I think that's key. Just looking at the visuals going back to last year in that November 27th race, presented as a turf horse, so seems like there's intent. The barn's been going well. As you mentioned, they also have the first-time starter in here, hands off the goods. Certainly capable with first-time starters. We've seen that, especially on this circuit. And that same ownership group is represented by that 6-year-old Mo Time at all.
Right.
One that probably just doesn't have much upside, but you know what you're going to get, a consistent type. We'll have to work a trip from the outside, so maybe that's just something to consider as far as value. Looking to get a little bit more creative with horses. I'll throw out a couple. And then also, I guess I'm going to be doing race 7
you
and 8,
are.
so I'll be able to cover a little bit more at that time. But Ice Vortex on the class drop is one that could get in there. Ancient Man, kind of another one that has some buried form, typically going to be a long shot for these connections. And then Noble Creeker, kind of the same thing, gives off those turf visuals, router visuals, so could just have in the right time and place. And that kind of worked out in the finale last Sunday
John
too.
Horse,
with a horse that was just waiting to get in the right spot on the right surface and then came through 21-1.
Massive price too, and that's the thing, and you can catch that, especially in these maiden claiming races. You get a full field, so much can happen. See what pace scenario is, you see how things unfold. It's the reason I went to Lawmaker. The horse is at its best, showing speed on the turf, but again, you've had 9 tries to do so, but I think this is a horse that could be sitting on a good race because that probably wasn't the type of trip they wanted in their last out, and they still recovered and ran 3rd, but I think they rate a lot closer here in the 7th. In the finale, you talk about maiden claimers in the 7th, you get maiden claimers in the 8th as well. They're 62.50. Jackpot high 5 carry over $90,044. Alex Bendezu's on the 6th. That is 1 ace. And in this race, again, you can go so many different ways. I ended up on Pro Charger because I thought the horse ran better in that last out than what you've seen in all those prior starts at Oaklawn on the drop. But there's so many different ways you can look in the finale.
Yeah, I think Pro Charger is very logical. I mean, Ingrid Mason runners, I think I texted you, it's just been so cold and it's so tough because they look like this one, right? And look like this horse last out where it was like the drop was going to move them up and just knocking on the door, maybe catch the right field in here. But it's probably a race you do want to spread. Certainly Pro Charger makes sense. I gave a look back to Black Russian as he had some gait issues, had the excuse on April 30th. And then LaMelo, another one, presents some upside, second start back off the layoff, and probably offers a little bit more value over Stan the Cameraman and the rival Uncaptured Dream, but one that's going to show speed.
And the thing is, and again, LaMelo trained by Pat Clay, the Clay Barn, a very good start to the meet too, 13 of the first 19 finding the board. And these are horses that are all back for these races at Hawthorne. So again, well intended, well placed. So see what we get out of LaMelo in the last. All right, that's how we see the 8 races here on the Wednesday afternoon card. We're going to flip back to the opener and take a look at the field for the first as the horses are walking into the paddock right now. And in the opener, we offer Win Play Show, Exacta, Trifecta, Superfecta, Double Pick 3 and Pick 5 wagering. Again, a reminder for everybody, low 12% takeout on Win Play Show wagering here at Hawthorne. We go 1 mile and 70 yards in the opener, Emily. 62.50 claimers we mentioned. It's a big scratch in race number 1 here. We take out the 2, Galib's Dream. So let's start with the favorite and work from there. We'll start with the 4, Cairo Summer. Rashawn Blanche aboard this one for trainer John Widauer, who's had himself a pretty good meet as well. What do you make of Cairo Summer in today's opener?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can see why this horse is favored. Certainly makes sense in here. Isn't quite as favored, though, looking at the exactas. I'm just kind of that's catching my eye right now. But as far as Cairo Summer, was running against much tougher back on May 18th, had an excuse that day, trouble at the start, had trouble, gave a good gallop out, then dropped to the 62.5 level that they're going to kind of return to in here. That was an N3 condition. This is a restricted condition. But I could certainly see where this sort of being in the right time for this horse has the speed figures that stack up on par.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the horse I ended up scratching into. I was with you. Galib's Dreams looked to be a standout to me in this spot. Cairo Summer kind of runs consistent races. I guess you need to show a little bit more, but this is a horse that definitely merits a look. Pace scenario-wise, I'd have to think that the 1 Kitten Rocks is a horse that's out there forwardly placed, and probably the reason why we're looking at 2-1 on the board on the 1 horse Kitten Rocks. This one from the barn of Brian Cook. Julio Felix gets the call today. They faced condition $5,000 company in that last down. They ran okay. The race 2 back might be a little bit more of a key race than we thought because Prancy Pants came back and ran a huge race on the grass on Sunday. And You have Kitten Rocks, a horse that I think may just be the one that inherits the lead in here today too.
Yeah, I think so, and especially with the rider change, the stretch back out in distance. Julio Felix was aboard back in March of 2022 and was a little bit more assertive. So I think that sometimes those rider changes, it's not even just putting a live rider, but it's intent, right? Putting the horse on the lead and from the rail and in this spot. That seems like her best chance is to at least establish position, especially from the inside.
Yeah, trainer Earl Hughes has 2 in here, and I know one of them you've been chasing, the 6. That's a Weekend Pass. You're getting 6-1 on Weekend Pass right now with the scratch of the 7-5 favorite. Actually isn't a bad price by any means. Diego Sanchez gets the call today. I guess it comes down to pace in this race more than anything, Emily, and if there's enough pace for Weekend Pass to chase in here.
I mean, that's the key, because she is running on late. She's just giving herself so much to do late. Even when there's a fast pace, she just detaches from the field. She's showing a lot of try late. You can see it in there. There was a big gallop out last time in that 5th place finish. She closed ground in the 2 previous starts, so she has run. It's just, you know, she's kind of her own worst enemy, just lacking that early speed. But again, could seem like intent in here. 24-day turnaround, which is a little bit more time between starts than her previous races. And it's interesting with the stablemate Hard Like Holly. Second start off the layoff, will stretch back out in distance. And actually, when she won last year, back on December 4th, she was actually racing above condition that day. That was part of the reason why she was that big price in there. But looked like one that would benefit from the added ground, and it, I think just caught kind of the right field and the right time, picking up that win.
Yeah, and we just saw the 5 Hard Like Holly walk by the 6 Weekend Pass there, and actually made a pretty good impression to me in the paddock. So we'll get a look at this one here. Steven down in the paddock getting a look at Hard Like Holly.
She does look good.
She does. She looks really good here, and it's one of those things where sometimes trainers can work one against the other, because Hard Like Holly's most likely going to show some speed, while Weekend Pass is a horse that rates back. So if this one gets loose and Kitten Rocks doesn't go, Hard Like Holly's a horse that could definitely be there in the end as well.
Yeah, she did get that win from off the pace, but is a horse that you can go through her form, and she has run on the lead, she's stalked, she's pressed, she's run outside, inside. Kind of comes down to the start for her. Can't have those gate issues, breaking slow, and I think that kind of dictates the rider tactics.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And then the last one to look at is the 3. That's Zenchua Sky. This one from the barn of trainer Mike Rivas, 9-2 on the board. I picked this one second in the spot. Alexis Centeno aboard today. 2022 wasn't a bad year for the horse. Hit the board in 5 out of 10 starts. 4 starts on the year this year. The last wasn't bad either. That was sprinting. I'm just curious to see what we get back on the stretch and distance with Zenchua Sky.
Yeah, I think that's the question, because her races at the distance, she's lost ground, kind of no keep in there, so lacks some stamina, and then just the intent that they've had her sprinting. Often that's for a reason. Only a couple times. She had a very favorable trip here last September, or not here necessarily, but out at Prairie Meadows last September before losing ground. So I think that was the big question. But again, it all comes down to price, right? If you're getting some price compensation for that unknown, you can make the case. Yeah,
so we'll see how things unfold here in the opener. Again, a reminder for everybody watching and wagering on races here at Hawthorne today. No live racing at Finger Lakes today. No live racing at Delaware. They were just showing the smoke index for New York as they're talking about the Belmont Stakes this weekend on FanDuel TV. So we'll see what happens there. We should make note, our partners over there at Horseshoe Indianapolis will stagger our races with them throughout the course of the day, so you can get in on all your wagering action on both of those tracks. But good luck to you with your selections. Our new studio rocks. Our TV guys are awesome. I'll join you for races 2 and 3. Emily and I are doing 4, 5, and 6 together. And then Emily is going to rock it out for races 7 and 8. So good luck to everybody here in race number 1.
Racing fans, we're 8 minutes away from the first race here at Hawthorne. First race starts the rolling daily doubles, rolling pick 3s, the 50-cent pick 5. Here are the changes in your pick 5 races. Dirt track fast, turf is firm with the rails set at 10 feet out. First race, scratch 2, Galib's Dream, scratch 2, Galib's Dream. 4, Cairo Summer carries 2 pounds over the program weight. Second race starts a 50-cent early pick 4, number 6, Tour de Port, make the jockey Alexander Bendezu. The weight's okay. Alexander Bendezu rides 6, Tour de Port. Third race starts the pick 6, carryover, $1,126. 1 Gallant Buck carries 2 pounds over. 5 Table Money carries 1 pound over the program weight. Fourth race, Turf Firm, rail set at 10 feet out. 1 Where's Lucky carries 2 pounds over the program weight. In the fifth race, that starts the late pick 4, 1 Ronan, make the jockey Alexander Bendezu. The weight's okay. Alexander Bendezu rides 1 Ronan. Scratch 2, Miss Melody, and scratch 3, Someone Said So. Fifth race, scratch 2, Miss Melody, scratch 3, Someone Said So. Those are the changes in your pick 5 races. Music, maestro. Coming on the track for today's first race, they'll go a mile and 70 yards on a fast track. Scratch 2, Galib's Dream. Field of 5, no rider changes. 4, Cairo Summer carries 2 pounds over the program weight. Win, play, show, exacta, trifecta, superfecta. This race starts the rolling daily doubles, rolling pick 3s, and the 50-cent pick 5. 6 minutes till post. Parading, here they are. 1, Kitten Rocks, Julio Felix riding. 2 is scratched. 3 is Zenchua Sky with Alexis Centeno. 4, Cairo Summer. The rider today is Rashawn Blanche. 5, Hard Like Holly, Emmanuel Giles. 6, Weekend Pass, Diego Sanchez will bring it to the gate, and they'll all be there in about 5 minutes. Kick off the Wednesday program. Once again, the dirt track is fast. Turf is firm with the rails set at 10 feet out. Racing fans, we have a couple additional overweights to announce. In the 6th race, number 1, My Sweet Analyze, will carry 1 pound over the program weight. These overweights being announced for the first time. 6th race 1, My Sweet Analyze, carries 1 pound over the program weight. And in the 7th race, number 11, Noble Creeker, will carry 1 pound over the program weight. 7th race, 11, Noble Creeker, will carry 1 pound over the program weight. Thank you. Equipment adjustment on number 4, Cairo Summer. Moving towards the gate, close to starting time, less than a minute. Final call for your first race selections, including rolling doubles, rolling pick threes, and the 50-cent pick five. We thank you for joining us wherever it may be across the betting network. We have 8 races today, pleasant temperatures, 2 carryovers. Third race, pick 6 carryover, $1,126. Eighth race, jackpot high 5 carryover, $90,014. Dirt track is fast. The turf is firm with the rail set at 10 feet out on the turf course. Nearing the gate for race 1 at Hawthorne. Racing fans are at the starting gate for today's first race, first of 8 on the Wednesday program. Once again, pleasant temperatures here in the Chicagoland area under hazy skies again. I know other parts of the country have it worse than us. We're just a bit hazy. We wish them luck from those Canadian wildfires. Couple more left to go in, waiting for Cairo Summer and Weekend Pass. Weekend Pass will be the last to know. Cairo Summer backed away. Now Cairo Summer's in, waiting for Weekend Pass. She's in, they're all in the gate. They're off and running. Then Chua Sky trying for the lead. There goes Hard Like Holly moving up between those two, Cairo Summer. Kitten Rocks and Weekend Pass complete the field as they make their way around the first turn. Hard Like Holly settles on top with a 2-length advantage over Cairo Summer second. Then Chua Sky along the rail third, another two back. Kitten Rocks fourth. Weekend Passes fifth. As they begin their journey on the backstretch, the opening quarter, 24.52 100ths of a second. And on the mid backstretch, it's Hard Like Holly leading by 2 lengths. Cairo Summer out there seconds, and Chua Sky third, Kitten Rocks fourth, about 4.5 behind the leader. And Weekend Pass still at the end. She's about 7 or 8 from the leader. Not much change in position with just about 4 furlongs to run. Hard Like Holly keeps her lead by 2. Cairo Summer still chasing second. Then Chua Sky third. Kitten Rocks now on the move, moving a closer fourth. And Weekend Pass is still at the end. 3 furlongs from the wire. And Hard Like Holly's trying to go all the way. Still chasing second. Cairo Summer. Now Kitten Rocks moves up on the outside third. Then Chua Sky fourth. And Weekend Pass will have to come from last to win it. Around the turn, they're in the stretch. Hard Like Holly leads by 2 lengths. Cairo Summer gains in between horses. Kitten Rocks picks up the leaders on the outside third. And then it's Chua Sky fourth, followed by Weekend Pass inside the final furlong. Cairo Summer now takes the lead. Hard Like Holly trying to fight back along the rail. It's Cairo Summer, Hard Like Holly, a late move by Weekend Pass. Cairo Summer in front. Hard Like Holly second, tight 3-horse photo for third between Weekend Pass, Kitten Rocks, and Chua Sky. In today's first race, 4, Cairo Summer finished first. 5, Hard Like Holly second. 6, Weekend Pass was third, and 1, Kitten Rocks fourth. 4-5-6-1 is posted. It's unofficial. Running time 1:45.89. 1 mile 70 yards. Fast track. Returning as the official winner for Cairo Summer. Cairo Summer's owned by Omar Razvi, trained by John Woodhour, was ridden to victory by Rashawn Blanche. First race official, running time 1:45.89. Prices in a moment. The $1 exacta 4-5, $24.70. 50-cent trifecta 4-5-6, $47.85. 20-cent superfecta 4-5-6-1, $47.48. The second race has win play show exacta trifecta superfecta. Starts another daily double, another pick 3, and today's 50-cent early pick 4. Here are the changes in your early pick 4 races. In the second race, 6 Tour de Port. Make the jockey Alexander Bendezu. The weight's okay. Alexander Bendezu rides number 6 Tour de Port. No scratches or overweights in race 2. Third race starts a pick 6, carryover $1,126. 1 gallon buck carries 2 pounds over. 5 table money carries 1 pound over the program weight. Fourth race, turf firm, rail set at 10 feet out. 1 Where's Lucky carries 2 pounds over the program weight. Fifth race starts a late pick 4, 1 Ronan. Make the jockey Alexander Bendezu. The weight's okay. Alexander Bendezu rides 1 Ronan. Scratch 2 Miss Melody. Scratch 3 Someone Said So. Fifth race, scratch 2 Miss Melody. Scratch 3 Someone Said So. Post time in 19 minutes at 2:59. 19 minutes to wager on the early pick 4. Dirt track fast, turf firm. In all cases, make your selections early. Thank you.